Good morning. How's it going, everyone? So today is the Sentinel Blast of the Past event, Lake of Calandra as well. We don't want to forget that. It is included. And I just want to talk to you guys for a few minutes about what my plans are. So full caveat right off the bat, my plan is to try to do my best in the SSF race event. So that is the main focus of this video. Everything is going to be through that lens about the build that I'm playing, my strategy. If you want just some tips and tricks and a more trade-oriented, more casual game enjoyer perspective, Pelstron actually beat me by a couple hours. This was actually probably close to the title that I was going to make for my video. Maybe we keep the same title. Why not? We'll be twinsies. He did a really good job of recommending resources for, brushing up on Sentinel and all that. That is not the purpose of this video. This video is going to be all about my approach and strategy in the SSF race event. So I'll link this video below if you want that, but let's get into what my plans are. I am going to, after much consternation, I tried a lot of builds in the past couple weeks. I played Cold Dot. I think I did a little bit of Bone Shatter testing. I did a couple different Guardian builds, and I also did my Frostblink Elementalist as well. And I did Exarch Eater runs. I did multiple of those. And at the end of the day, what I'm going to be playing is this. This is my SRS Guardian. This is actually the one that I played in Hardcore Solo Self-Found. I got him to level 88, and it's a very, very strong build. In fact, it's actually getting some hype right now, some popularity. A lot of the racers are starting to look at it. I've been playing this build for a few weeks now. I've played it multiple times. I can show you my softcore version of it as well. I think I've leveled this build 3 or 4 times in the past couple weeks. I've been playing it quite a bit. I really, really like it. Basic idea is we use a spell called Summon Raging Spirit, which summons these angry skulls. They're very raging, and they go out, they attack the monsters. It's a very, very clean playstyle. In fact, I can show you guys in Hardcore, just so you get a good idea of what this will look like in a Hardcore Soul Self-Found event. And in fact, this is actually going to be my first Maxwell guide. You can look forward to that. It's going to be a deep dive into the build. It does scale pretty nicely. It's not like a high-end build. It doesn't get into it's not like Tornado Shot or anything, but it can kill Ubers. I've killed Ubers with this build. Not the hardcore version, but I've killed Ubers with this build. It scales nicely. Once you get a trigger wand, it is a very button-intensive build until you get a trigger wand. And then you can take one of your curses off, as well as, Flesh Offering Desecrate, because that becomes very button-intensive. Basic theory behind the build is we're using Unwavering Crusade, which will give us these relics, which give us a level 27 Hatred, Anger, and Wrath. And then since the Summon Raging Spirit is actually a base physical damage minion that also has 100% physical to fire conversion, we get a lot of value out of just going all elemental damage. That Hatred, Anger, and Wrath will give us a lot of additional base damage, more Fizz is Cold and all that. Then we also have the Sentinel of Radiance right here. You've probably heard about him. He has a very big Righteous Fire AoE. Like, the actual size is of the screen, whereas AoE is, his Righteous Fire is like this big. It's like almost the whole screen. I can show you guys actually how big he is. Just show you how big this guy is real quickly. So you can see the damage, right? He's hitting them before it's even close to him. Really good additional cleanup. He also makes us take 20% less damage from hits. Really good, just like all the time fortify. You do have to resummon him every 30 seconds or so when you have increased duration. I think the base duration is maybe 20 seconds, 20 or 30 seconds, and then it scales up a little bit more, so it's not too bad. And then, yeah, we have Unleash. We do have a Divine Blessing on our Haste right here. We press Vol Haste, and yeah, it's not too button-intensive of a build once you have it kind of put together. For single target, there is a gem swap. You want to swap out Melee Splash for Multi-Strike. But yeah, because they auto-target, it's really comfortable. You can kind of just do one. We have Unleash as well, so you can do one Unleash basically per screen, and they'll clean up behind you. Looting can be, it's a minion build, right? At the end of the day, minion slash, it's not a dot build, but kind of feels like it in terms of the looting. You will have to go back and pick up loot after the fact. But yeah, you can build this. It's a Guardian. We get a lot of block. Has some pretty good overall defenses. Let's see. Let's get to the boss for a little single target right here. Anyway, yeah, this build is very, very tried and true and proven. I have a couple variations, a couple changes that I like to make for my version of this build. But it's, yeah, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. It's like, as long as you like to summon the Raging Spirits, then you can look at the single target right here. It's a white map, so it's not it's not anything to show off. But yeah, it's a very comfortable build once you get the trigger wand. Before that, you do have to press a lot of buttons. And actually, in my preferred version, we also go Profane Proxy, and then we can put one of our curses in there and that also relieves a lot of the button pressure. That's the general idea. That's the setup, and I'm going to provide with you guys. It's not like the slickest finalized POB. This is not like a build guide POB, but I think it's a pretty good POB, and you can follow it, and you should be okay. Again, if you're racing, you should know the basics. So I'm not like the leveling stuff is not really detailed. I just quickly threw together a leveling tree for you guys right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to start leveling with the regular setup. This is not a full leveling guide, but you're just going to go for Holy Flame Totem with Rolling Magma, Flame Wall, all that type of stuff, Frost Blink, Leap Slam. The regular stuff, I prefer using Period of Elements with Determination. War Banner's there if you want to do it to drop it for Adrenaline. Very standard setup right here. And the key is you want to level with Holy Flame Totem and Rolling Magma all the way up to level 38. You do grab Armageddon Brand before you do your lab. After you do your first lab, I do recommend getting your Radiant Crusade right here. This is our first lab that you're going to go for. Grab this guy right away. In fact, I'll put this point right here. This is your first point that you grab. You're going to go for Radiant Crusade. This is the big yellow guy. He will hard carry you through the entire campaign. And this is no exaggeration. This guy through the entire campaign will just 1, 2, 3 shot every single zone boss. Definitely a little overtuned. This is roughly the passive tree that I would take. This is just like the regular quality of life passive tree. I am skipping the dual wielding node for any of the racers. I'm skipping this dark arts. You can dual wield. You can get this 60% increased damage with 2 different weapon types. That's the ideal thing to do if you're actually racing. But what we're doing is we're going to be swapping over into minion focus. So you're going to be roughly around this. This is level 32. And then if you click the default tree right here, this is what you're going to be going for later. What we're going to do is go into all of these nodes right here. This gives us some pretty good damage. So Spiritual Aid increases to minion damage, also affect you. So this way that Redemption, Righteous Army, all of this will give us pretty good damage. What this allows us to do is when we switch to SRS at level 38, we can actually unspec out of Spiritual Aid. You want to drop those 2 points, and then we can go into the rest of the nodes for the tree. So that's what I recommend doing. Go into Spiritual Aid right here. It'll give you some damage. And then what we end up doing is, later on, we're going to respec out of that. We're going to respec out of the elemental damage and go into the physical damage. You can level with just the physical damage if you want, because that will buff your Holy Flame Totem. That will save you 3 respecs if you want to do that. If you want to go more into damage, I do recommend dropping all of these nodes right here. And I have an example cluster jewel that you can go into. The big thing that you do want to aim for is Blessed Rebirth. This is really nice for when maps get a little crazy. Minions created recently can't be damaged, so your minions are invincible for the first 4 seconds after they're summoned. And the 20% increased max life actually really buffs your Radiant Sentinel as well. So Blessed Rebirth is incredible. You do want to aim for a cluster jewel like this, but we're just going to leave that there as an example. This is very standard passive tree, so I'm going to give that to you guys as the POB below. In terms of the Atlas passive tree, this is a slight tweak on the SSF racing tree. What I'm going to be doing is going into essences early, actually, going through all hands right here. And in fact, I'm going to take Covert Stakeouts early and respec it a little bit later. Idea is I want to get as many June missions as possible. I want to get my unveils, and I want to get a lot of XP. You get a lot of XP from Betrayal as well. And then after that, you want to rush up and get to Wandering Path ASAP. The reason I'm going to the right here, normally you would go to the left if you're, if you're really racing, but we're going to the right here because my plan is to later go into Abyss and Breach for XP. So I'm going into Wandering Path right here, and then you go up here. You want to get all of the +10 map nodes. And yep, TIE Killer's got videos. This is the very standard setup that people are doing for racing for your map progression. And then this is just a quick idea for what I'm thinking for farming XP. I'm sure it's not perfected or idealized whatsoever. I don't know what the standard racing XP passive tree is, but I think this is kind of a neat idea, and I think it's along the right path. Is we're going to be doing, again, we want Betrayal. Betrayal gives a ton of XP. I actually really like Shrines, not only for making the maps more comfortable, but we also get a lot of packs of magic monsters, which is really good XP. I am going to be running Blue Altars because I think Jewelers and Fusings should be pretty high value. I could be wrong there, but I feel like Jewelers and Fusings would be just really nice to have. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to care about raw Chaos Orbs as much. So yeah, we'll go with blue. We'll see. Maybe I changed my mind on that. And then the big thing is we are doing Abyss and Breach. Breach has really high monster density. You can get a ton of XP from that. And if you get completed Breach Stones, that can be really good XP and actually pretty good items at the end of a Breach Stone as well. And then these nodes give you a ton of monsters. Every single Abyss will give you just tons and tons of monsters. And then there's also nodes that specifically make the monsters give you more XP. So Abyss and Breach is the main focus here. Stream of consciousness right here. We keep this on because we just get 50% more base chance. We want as much content as possible. And then definitely turning off Metamorph and Heist. And I think that that's pretty good. That's, you know, moderately strong completion right there. That's probably as much as I'm going to end up getting. You know, that might be even a little bit high. So that's the general idea right here. I'll share this tree with you guys below. I also made a custom loot filter that I'll have linked below as well. It's on the description of the video. Custom loot filter right here that is entirely focused on just showing the stuff that matters, that we care about, and maybe showing a little bit too much. And I can talk to you guys a little bit about the thoughts here. And this is my notes. We made it on stream yesterday. So Ghastly Eye Jewels. These are very, very important. It's one of the most important ways to scale the build. You want to go for physical damage for minions. You want to stack every single Ghastly Eye Jewel that you can. Also, benefit of running Abyss is that we want to get Darkness Enthroned, which is the unique belt that gives the Ghastly Eye Jewels up to 200% effect, 100% increased effect. We want minion wands. I actually turned off everything that is not this as well. This is a filter just for this build. So I turned off, regular wands and scepters and all that. We are only looking for minion wands. We have all helmets turned on, basically. All tier 2 and tier 1 helmets are turned on because we want to look for +1 to +2 minion levels on the helmet. Bone shield and bone ring, just for more minion attack speed, minion damage, minion levels. That's what's really, really important. Large and medium minion clusters, we want to show those. I think every other cluster jewel is turned off. White desert brigandines are actually shown because that is the base for a lightning coil. If we can get a lightning coil, that gives us a really good physical mitigation. And actually, to tweak this even more, we're putting all these in tier 1. We're gonna put Scholar's Robe here as well because a Cloak of Flame would also be really nice find early on for physical damage mitigation. Then for an Animate Guardian, these are all great items to use. Leercast, Dying Breath, Kingmaker, Legacy of Fury, Southbound, Ambush Charge. As soon as you get like a Dying Breath or a Leercast, I recommend just putting together your Animate Guardian. It'll be a really good damage boost for your character. Regarding Spectres, also for the build, you can always look. You can go to Raise Spectre right here, see the drop down. The ideal ones to go for are Arena Master and Pale Seraphim. They are the go-to. Pale Seraphim comes from Beyond, so if you can run a Beyond map and get that, it's really good. I think it's like a 15% more damage taken to monsters. It's really, really annoying to summon, though, because the corpse goes away really quickly. Pale Seraphim is like the big white monster with like the red spiky points. Yeah, that's the Pale Seraphim right there. It's like the spidery looking thing. And then the Arena Master, he is showing up as totally invisible right here, but he's just a guy with a sword and a board. That's all he's got. He is a Drox minion, so if you get a Drox map, you can summon the Arena Master. He's like a 40% attack speed buff to your Raging Spirits, so he's really, really strong as well. So you definitely want to get that going ASAP. That's obviously much later when you're really well into tier 16 maps for the Arena Master. So those are the Spectres that you want to go for. Uniques, Lightning Coil, Profane Proxy, we really like that. I also even hid Forbidden Tomes and Heist stuff. All right, and the name of the filter here is Blast Past SRS Guardian. Again, this is entirely focused on just this build, so do not use this filter. It's also entirely focused on once you hit maps, so don't switch to this until after you kill Katava. Before I get to maps, I just use Tai Killer's caster filter right here. I'll put all the links to everything below. And then in terms of recombinators, I don't have a real big plan for that. The basic idea that I'm going to be going for is just looking for minion mods. I'm going to use that to recombinate with spell suppression, physical damage reduction, anything that's a very valuable mod. You can slap together anything, particularly if you get a fractured base. You can have multiple fractured bases, and you can slap together all sorts of crazy things. Again, watch the Pelstron video for all the tips there. And then the hidden, probably most important thing here is actually going to be Lake of Kalandra. There are tiles, the Untainted Paradise tiles. They give you an insane amount of XP. If you see a Tainted Paradise tile, you're going to be really happy. You'll go from like level 70 to 75 in a single tile. It's really, really broken. So my focus here is actually going to be blasting maps and trying to make as many Kalandra tiles as I can. Probably more than focusing on Recombinators and Sentinels. So yeah, just an overview of what my strategy is and my plans and all that. Just a disorganized chat with you guys. If you want to play this build, if you're interested in it. And this is also a great build to play in trade as well. It's not SSF only. Not hard to put together. I'm really happy to league start at next league. Again, assuming no nerfs. Please, no nerfs. GGG. And I'm really excited. Hope you guys join me on stream in about 5 hours. So I got to edit this video, and then we're going to kick off the racing event. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'll try to take a nap or something first because this is going to be, it's going to be a grind, but I'm looking forward to it. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.